man is back.
Oh, okay, boys. Oh my gosh, the man got that stuff. This is a 5 out of freaking 5.
It is beat making time.
Next week is E3 week. My album comes out next week.
I have the leopard. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But look at that, my God.
This is your boy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash, the True Inferno. Back at it with another Call of Duty Black Ops 6 commentary video gameplay for you guys. And check this out, ladies and gentlemen. So. We got, I guess we can call this a final saga to the Jimmy Butler situation, even though that is not what this video is about. But we got to talk about it since the last video that I put out was about Jimmy Butler. So I was wrong when I said that I sincerely thought that Jimmy Butler would be traded, because a few hours ago, he was traded. So let's get the details over this trade. So this involves 4 teams. Obviously, we got the Miami Heat, the Golden State Warriors, the Utah Jazz, and the Detroit Pistons. I was actually shocked. I didn't know the Pistons was involved with this. I was like, what? But I looked this up. So here's the deal. So the Warriors will receive Jimmy Butler, and that's it. The Heat will receive Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, PJ Tucker, and a protected 2025 first round pick. So that would be this year, for the draft upcoming this year. Now the Utah Jazz will receive Dennis Schroeder, and the Pistons will receive Lindy Waters III and Josh Richardson. Now, let me see if I can break this down even further. Okay, so obviously Jimmy Butler came from Miami going to Golden State. We know that. Now, Golden State will send Dennis Schroeder to Utah. And let's see. PJ Tucker will go back to Miami, because he did play for Miami once upon a time, but he will go back to Miami after he was with Utah. And then, let me see, in terms of Kyle Anderson and, okay, Andrew Wiggins, he was with Golden State. Actually, Kyle Anderson was with Golden State as well. And I believe Schroeder was with Golden State as well. It may have such correct. I could be wrong with that. Let me double check. I could be wrong with that. Actually, I think Josh Richardson was with Miami. Yeah, Kyle Anderson was with Golden State. Josh Richardson, who will be going to Detroit, he was with Miami. And Lindy Waters III, where was he from? He was from Golden State. So Golden State gave up a lot of players. They gave up Andrew Wiggins. They gave up Kyle Anderson. They gave up Dennis Schroeder. They gave up Lindy Waters III. And they gave up Josh Richardson. And apparently they gave up a 2025 first round pick. They gave up a lot to get Jimmy Butler. And I'll be perfectly honest. This was a bad move for Golden State. This was a bad move for Golden State. Now you're probably wondering, why do I say this? Well, here's the reason why. One, they're not going to go anywhere. They're not going to win the championship. Yeah, they can still make the playoffs, but they're not going to win the championship or anything like that. So we can get that notion out the way. That's number one. Number two, well, my original number two was this, because I did see this on ESPN somewhere. And that was the fact that Butler had declined his 2025-2026 player option. Now, it didn't say why he declined it. It just said that he declined it. So I was under the impression that, oh, he only going to stay with Golden State for the remainder of this year, and then that's it. He's gone. He's leaving. But according to NBA.com, he declined his 2025-2026 player option in order to sign a 2-year, $121 million extension that would keep him with the Warriors through 2026-2027 season. So that's what happened there. Okay, so now that makes sense. Okay, but again, I still don't see this as an instant title contender. I think they need a big in order to compete. And while they did bring in more defense, so that's good, and somebody who can like occasionally, take over the game when Steph Curry needs a break or whatever the case may be, is to a degree open the floor more, because Butler can score. He can score. I wouldn't necessarily call him a great shooter to the level of like a Steph Curry or even a Klay Thompson in his prime, not even. But he can still score, and he can take some pressure a lot off of Curry. So, I mean, there's that. Like, there going to be little improvements, but I think they need like a serious big in order for them to make a serious run towards another championship. And maybe Draymond should be coming off the bench. I mean, that's just a, that's just a little caveat that thrown in there. So there's that as well. Okay. So there's that trade. Now, like, Miami, they ain't clear. Obviously, the Heat won't go anywhere with this move. They're not gonna make the. They're not gonna be a serious title contender. Obviously, I don't know where they're at in terms of their NBA standings at the moment, but I'm gonna take a guess and say that they may make the play-in tournament, and that's probably it. But in terms of them in the long run, unless they're gonna make other moves, I don't see them going anywhere. I really don't see them going anywhere at this moment in time. So I don't know where they will go from here. Because, like, where's Miami? Miami currently got the 6th spot. They are obviously going to drop. They can still make the play-in, but they are obviously going to drop. I don't see them making the playoffs at all. So I don't know why they made this move. I really, really don't know why they made this move. Now, in terms of, like, what this move does for the Utah Jazz, because of the fact that they got Schroeder, they, like, close to last place in the rest. Like, they like 2 games ahead of the team that's in last place, and that would be the New Orleans Pelicans. So I feel about that move, like, Utah not gonna go anywhere either. And then with the Pistons getting Josh Richardson, he got a name, so I am aware of his existence. So there's that. But I'm not sure what this would do for Detroit. Obviously, Detroit are at the point where, yeah, they're trying to move up, and they are fighting for that 6th spot. They did have it before that. We ain't going to talk about what happened the night prior. But now they're currently at the 7th spot, ironically enough, behind Miami. So, basically, Detroit going to move up and get that 6th spot. And they need to now hold off Orlando and Atlanta for that 6th spot so they can take on what looks like to be the Knicks in the first round. So, there's that. Now, let's get on to the main event of this video, and that would be the trade of all trades. Obviously, there were some other major trades that happened involving, for example, DeAndre Fox. Yeah, that's his name. But the big trade I want to talk about happens involving the Luka, Doncic, and Anthony Davis. So basically, Luka was sent to LA. Let's get the details real quick. So the Lakers got Luka. They got Maxi Kebler, how you pronounce his name, and Marquise Morris. The Mavericks will receive Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round draft pick. And the Utah Jazz are involved again. The Utah Jazz will get Jalen Hood. He got like 2 names. Jalen Hood / Shafino, I think that's how you pronounce it, and 2 second-round picks. Now, I don't know what year this is for. This could be for this year, next year, 2029. I have no idea. So, yeah, there you go with that. Now, obviously, Luka came from Dallas, and this was a huge shocker. I was shocked when I heard about this one. But before I get my thoughts on this, let me look up these other players, see where they were at originally. So, Maxi Kebler was with Dallas, but now he was traded to the Lakers. And then we got Marquise Morris, who was the last? I think he was with Dallas. So, yeah, he was with Dallas. Now he's going over to the Lakers. Now, in terms of the Mavericks, obviously Anthony Davis was with the Lakers. But now let's turn to Max Christie, who was with the Lakers. And now he's been sent over to Dallas. And then we got Jalen Wood Shafino, who was with the Lakers. But now he's been shipped over to Utah. Okay. So now that we got all that out the way, let me, and actually before I get my thoughts on this, because we got one more trade that we need to talk about actually, involving the Lakers. The Lakers pick up Mark Williams. They pick up Mark Williams, so from the Charlotte Hornets, in exchange for Dalton Pinch, how you pronounce his name, Cam Reddish, a 2031 unprotected, first round pick, and a 2030 pick swap. So that's crazy. Okay. So if this move were not made, I would have been like, yo, what the Lakers doing? Obviously, they're trying to set it up where Luka would be the future once LeBron leaves or retires, whatever the case may be. But in terms of this year, I'm like, yo, what the Lakers doing? Because now they gave up defense. They gave up defense. They have nothing for this year. And then they pick up Mark Williams. And apparently he's a young guy who is a center. And now I'm looking like, well, okay, maybe the Lakers know what they're doing. So now with that move out the way, and who knows, because the trade deadline, as of me recording this video, today is Thursday, February the 6th. The trade deadline is like in less than 3 hours. It's at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And it's right now, it's 12:09 Eastern Standard Time, PM, obviously. So here, like as it stands right now, the Lakers could potentially do some things in the playoffs with this move. As of right now, they are a game and a half back behind Denver for the 4th spot. They are 2 games back at Houston for the 3rd spot. And they are, I think that's 4.5 games back of Memphis for the number 2 spot. We ain't gonna talk about the number 1 seed. They ain't catching that. They 10.5 games back. No, that's not happening. That's not happening. The number 2 seed is highly unlikely as well. They have an outside shot at that number 3 seed, but their realistic chance is to try to get the number 4 seed. They could potentially do it. They could potentially do it because they got defense in with Luka. So, yeah, you got 2 guys who are basically LeBron, in my opinion, to me, like, despite his age and despite the fact that he's holding out on playing defense, whatever the case may be, LeBron, in my opinion, is a top 5 player in the world right now. He's a top 5 player. Luka is top 10, in my opinion. Now, y'all might be saying, wait a minute, shouldn't he be top 5 as well? I'm like, no, because he don't play defense. He don't play defense. Like, in my opinion, you have to play some type of defense to be top 5. LeBron is capable of doing that because we see him done that before, but now he just take it easy and coast so he can be geared up and ready to go for the postseason. Luka, on the other hand, doesn't play defense. Either he doesn't, or he suck at it, or both. But yeah, so I got Luka as the 6th best player in the league. So when you have 2 guys who are in the top 6 in the entire world, yeah, and then in combination with the fact that they brought in a guy who can play defense in terms of Mark Williams, yeah, they got to go up. Now, am I saying they go to pass Denver? No. That would be interesting if Denver dropped to the number 6 spot and the Lakers get the number 3 seed or whatever the case may be, or which would involve the Clippers moving up as well, because the Clippers currently have the number 6 spot and they are 2 games back of the Lakers and 3.5 games back of Denver. So anything can happen here. In my opinion, though, the Lakers still need to avoid Denver. They still need to avoid Denver. With the way things are looking right now, they're going to be dealing with Denver again. Even with Luka on their squad, they need to avoid Denver because if they face Denver again, I truly believe that Denver will beat them and knock them out in the first round again. So that's where I'm at with this. But the Lakers do have a future with Luka and Mark Williams right there in the mix. So hopefully they don't mess that up. Now let's take a look at it from Dallas side. So now we got Kyrie, Anthony Davis, and Klay Thompson. So they currently at the 8th spot, and they are, that looks like 3.5 games back from the 6th seed. I think Dallas is going to, believe it or not, I think Dallas is going to improve because Dallas was doing the thing. Kyrie was doing his thing without Luka because Luka been injured. But now they're bringing in another guy who just so happened to be injury prone, more so injury prone than Luka actually, and they still got Klay. So now I'm like, yo, they gotten better defensively. They got a pick and roll partner for Klay and Kyrie. So now I'm looking at them like, yo, they're going to improve as well. They're going to challenge Minnesota for the 7th spot. So because they're 2 games back behind them. And they are, again, 3.5 games back behind the Clippers for that 6th spot. So Dallas, in terms of like this year and next year, if we, the next 5 years or so, yeah, I think Dallas is going to be in the mix in terms of them being an elite team. Now, in terms of them being title contenders, no, because Oklahoma City going to have something to say about that. Denver going to have something to say about that. Maybe Memphis, because they currently got that number 2 spot, we'll have something to say about that. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Dallas in terms of these next 3 to 5 years. Like, they're going to be competing as an elite team, But in terms of them being a title contender, I don't think so. I think they need a little bit more. I think they need a little bit more defense. Because again, while Clay is also known as a defender, but again, this is an older Clay here. And Kyrie was never really known as a defender. So there's that. And then Anthony Davis, the problem with him is he's injury prone. So they need a little bit more, especially on the defensive side of the ball, to put them over the hump as a title contender. So that's my thoughts on that. I think both teams will improve in terms of the Lakers and Dallas, but not to the point where they're going to be title contenders. So that's my thoughts on that. I'm going to call it a wrap now. And with all that said, y'all know this is. This is boy New J Gatsby, a.k.a. New Stimulate Smith, saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah.